Hey everyone, it's Whitney here. Please don't scroll past this because I'm doing tour dates because that's what I was told started happening. So just go to WhitneyCummings.com. I'm coming to your city and don't skip this because the wildness is coming soon, right now.
Bap, bap, bap. I'm in Austin, Texas, doing the podcast here with a bunch of hot dorks in STEM. I'm here to do the Comedy Mothership. I am reading off a prompter because I'm going to read a bunch of jokes that I cut from the CNN New Year's Eve roast. I didn't cut them because I was scared. I cut them for time and a lot of other things, but we'll get to that in a second. I'm very excited to be at the Comedy Mothership. Let me tell you what. Because, like, Comedy Mothership has those Yondr bags. Like, people talk about, like, oh, why is the Mothership so great? It's because it has bags. As soon as you come in, you have to put your phone in the bag. So you can't, like, film, like, snitch comics, you know? I think that because of Instagram and Twitter and TikTok comment section, people want to comment in person. Like, there's an escalation in just Tourette's at comedy shows. And I'm happy. I'm fine with hecklers. You guys know that I ask people about their conspiracy theories. I talk to the audience a lot. But when someone just yells something to try to, like, correct you, so, like, self-righteous indignation, it is you are coming for people that professionally insult other people. And how dare you make me look like a bully by intentionally misunderstanding a joke at a comedy show to go out of your way to be offended at my job? You paid money to hear jokes, and then you heard one and you were like, ah. It's honestly might be drugs, and it's obviously some kind of mental illness, but I remember one time I was, like, it was at the Comedy Store, and I was doing some joke. It was when, like, Chappelle was getting a lot of shit for being transphobic or something like that, and I did a joke about, like, you know, trans women. If you're upset about what Dave Chappelle it was like, if you're upset about what Dave Chappelle said about trans women, wait till you hear what he's been saying about women for the past 30 years. You're gonna lose your shit. And I did say, like, Dave Chappelle's the best comedian in the world. Like, you know, I think he knows what he's doing. And this woman stood up and she's like, hey, Dave Chappelle's not that. Dave Chappelle's not that. And it was just like, are you at a comedy club saying to a comic, Dave Chappelle's not funny? Imagine me being like, you're right. You know what? And she was in the audacity. She was in what's it called when you're a janitor in a Broadway play and you're wearing, like, a zip up, like, a onesie? It was like a baggy onesie. And I was like, you can't come at me as a woman in a baggy onesie at the Comedy Store at my job and say one of my friends isn't funny. This isn't going to go well for you. But everyone's got their cameras out. So I'm like, all right, I guess I just have to, you know, create space. What's it called, Anthony? I have to hold space for this woman's truth. Okay. Of course, a white woman, obviously, always. Anyway, so a lot of people are asking me, which, by the way, I hate it when people do that. Everybody's asking me, like when influencers do that, everyone's asking me who makes this top. Everybody's asking me who makes it. It's like, no one's asking you. Just tag it. Just get a free top. Just pretend you have sponsors. Like, no one needs to go through this rigmarole. But a lot of feedback that I'm getting from I did a roast of 2024 live on CNN. I did send an email to the producers and say, like, thank you so much for having me. And she wrote back something very nice. Deb, love you. So I don't think they're mad at me. I don't know. But people are like, Whitney got red pilled. Okay. I didn't get red. You guys, I take every color pill. All right. No, I am sober, but I don't discriminate against pill colors. Okay. Whitney got red pilled, and it's kind of like, it's just wild to me that we are in a time where if you are on the left and you don't criticize your party, how much do you even care about your party? Do you know what I mean? It's like what's going on the left. I finally just broke. On the left, it's like, you know, when someone's dog is, like, barking at you or growling at you and the owner can't see it. The owner's like, oh no, she's just friendly. She's just friendly. The dog's, like, jumping on you or just, like, getting schmegma saliva all over your, like, white shirt. Like, oh, sorry, she's just friendly. I'm like, no, she's inbred. She's inbred and she's not trained and probably has hepatitis A, B, and C. Can I just get to work, please? She's just friendly. You know how you, like, can't see, It's like Ryan Reynolds and his wife, sometimes you just can't see it, you're in Stockholm syndrome, whatever it is. But I just think that if you love your party, you have to be able to criticize it, and I don't really take sides. I've always thought of myself as a pretty liberal person, but I don't think the left is as liberal as it used to. It's like the left became the party of censorship and my body, my choice, but you have to take this vaccine, and my body, my choice, pro-choice party, but you don't have a choice in your candidate. Like, I'm not an expert on politics, which is why I've always said I'm not weighing in on it, but I am an expert on hypocrisy. Okay, I was raised by hypocrites. I've dated them, and I know hypocrisy when I see it. So to me, I didn't think I was being political, I thought I was just like pointing out hypocrisies everywhere across the board. And when people are like, why did you make fun of Trump? Because that's hacky to do. Everyone's done that. And to do it on CNN, that's just like, that's home court advantage, cheap shot, hack. There's nothing risky or dangerous about that. It bothers me when comics say stuff that's self-righteous and they get applause for being fake brave when they're not doing it in a situation that's brave at all. If I was going to roast Trump and make fun of Trump, which I can write jokes about that all day, is I'd have to do that on Fox News. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, to go on CNN and roast Trump is just like fish in a barrel. So, and I also already roasted Trump. People that maybe don't know me, I think it was like literally 14 or 15, we did the roast of Donald Trump on Comedy Central. So that was like ages ago. So I've already done that. I'm not gonna like do it again and be like, me again. Like, I said what I needed to say, I don't know. I feel like what's going on like defies sides. I don't think there's sides anymore. You know what I mean? It's not left, it's not right. It's now, to me, just like crazy versus sane. It's like delusional zombie versus awake person who doesn't want to drink fluoride water. Like, why is that a crazy thing to say? And also, by the way, maybe there's not fluoride in every state. Anthony, you're a scientist. Is there fluoride everywhere? I mean, it's a lot of places. I also grew up around Virginia, West Virginia, where my dad's side is from West Virginia, where DuPont put chemicals in the water. There was water that was like flammable.
Just like that.
I don't think it's a hot take that America should have better water. I don't think I've lost my mind. Like, it's the same thing with like men versus women. It's not men versus women. It's not gay versus straight. It's cool men, cool women, cool gay, cool straight versus evil men, women, gay, straight. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just this, if you are still on some like Democrats versus Republican stuff, like, you are such a dork. Like, are you still, thank you for taking your time to tweet me that I'm gone right or been red pilled. I know you're really busy playing hacky sack. I know you're really, or kicking hacky sack. I don't even know what you call that. Like, what I'm trying to picture the day of the person who went out of their way to go on Twitter and tell me that I've been red pilled. Like, what else were they doing that day? Yelling at people because they didn't come to their birthday party? Like, what, you losers? Like, what else were you doing? Like, drawing in your mustache? Like, what else were you doing? Like, you're like the guy that goes to yoga class to try to like male feminists. I'll just say it. You're that guy. You're the guy who's like, my cause is free the nipple because I care about women. Huh? Why is that the cause? My cause. When dudes like, my cause is breastfeeding everywhere. Normalize breastfeeding. Like, if you want to pull your tit out, pull your tit out. Even if you don't have a baby, you should be able to breastfeed in my bedroom or what. I like to role play being a baby. Like, it's, the people coming from me, they're the kind of people that like the dudes that go to the slut walk and they're like, I am against shaming sluts. That is wrong. We need to create a safe space for sluts. And I've created one in my bedroom. If you need a safe space to be a slut, I won't shame you. Like, there's just some fishy about you people that are coming after me, telling me I've been red pilled or that I'm like a conspiracy theorist or something. I'm also a comic, you dorks. I guess I just don't know what I am. And I don't feel pressure to take a side right now. I have notes for both sides. I don't think that the party system is works. I don't think anything's. I think it's weird that election day is not a holiday. I think it's weird that you can take money. You have to be rich to run for office. I have so many notes with all of this. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not taking sides. And however, for people that are like Whitney was a liberal, whatever, she woke up because she used to be I don't know what people thought I was. I guess it's because I'm in the business I'm in, which I don't even know what business I'm in at this point. I'm in like it's Austin in a warehouse yelling at a camera. It's with someone sitting on the floor. I don't know what business this is. Okay. But like, you have to understand that being on the left before now was not, and for the people that are like, I'm a Democrat and you betrayed the Democrats or whatever is happening, it gets you. I am proud that I fell for those values at a time before, like, everything was like being exposed. We were asking a lot of questions. Like the left is like, we're not racist. You're like, I'm in. They're like, we respect women. You're like, I'm listening. You know what I mean? They're like, this is the party where you can say anything. This is the party of the artists. This is the party of like, the brave people, the comedians, the thinkers. That's what the Democrats were. I'm proud that I fell for that. Okay. But like, then it was like, hold on. I think that I always was like, Democrats, because they're not racist. Like, that's what was, from wherever I got that. It was like, they're not racist. I don't mean like inclusivity, like forced inclusivity. I just mean like, they're not racist. Great. And then you're like, oh yeah, they are putting a Black woman as a candidate for president. And you're like, okay, yeah, I'm sure she's qualified for many jobs. I'm sure she's qualified for most jobs that I am so far away from even understanding the job description of. Not saying she's not qualified to be district attorney, but I don't know. I'm too dumb. I don't know. But I don't even know if she's qualified to be president. I'm not even going to say that. I do know that she could not figure out how to say something that I could understand. Maybe my autism, my Asperger's, like, didn't vibe with her speech writers. I don't know. But when I watched Kamala talk, maybe it was just my algorithm, I couldn't understand what she was saying. I couldn't. I was like, what did she, I don't know what she believes. I just truly, and especially when it's a woman, Black woman, you're like, hold on, this person that makes absolutely no sense, forget gender, and has such low approval ratings and is not effective or powerful, can't even be good at being a puppet. Okay? I'm so desperate to be liked and am so easily programmed. I could do that. I just be like, what do I say? Tell me what to say, you guys. I will nail this. Like, I know how to be on TV. I know how to be full of shit. I don't do that anymore, but I could do it. You have to be able to at least be programmable. She wasn't even good at being programmable. It was like, can't you just memorize that? I'm reading off a prompter in Austin. I don't even know these people. Anthony's sitting on the floor. Why couldn't she just get a prompter? I know they got the earpiece or whatever, but it was just like, can you not even hear the ear? Get a better earpiece, guy. I mean, it was just like so embarrassing on so many levels. And it was like, hold on. So are you going to tell me that you guys are going to push for a Black woman, the lowest rated VP, which, by the way, I didn't even know she was still the VP. I hadn't seen her in years. Where even was she this whole time? I don't know. Maybe my algorithm's jacked up. I don't know. But then you're going to push her to be the president. So our worst president is going to be a Black woman? How is that good for women or Black people? Am I insane, Anthony? Are you? Because then it's like, well, no, you're sexist and racist if you don't vote for her. And it was like, and I'm not telling anyone who I vote. I mean, let's be honest. I wrote in Haktua. I was one of the 500,000 people who wrote in Haktua. Which, by the way, people want to go like, they're crazy. It's like, our only options were crazy. My main goal for myself is to be able to change my mind when presented with new information. Do I know the information's true or not? Of course not. The truth changes every 20 seconds. You know what I mean? Science changes every 20 seconds. Like, I'm working on a bit about this because there's so much like people like, you're a conspiracy theorist or something right now. I don't even want to get into that. It's such a ridiculous, like, sort of way to call someone crazy. Like, and all the guys, though, who are upset about being called a conspiracy, they're just like, you're doing this to invalidate me. I'm like, yeah, that's guys calling us crazy. Like, that's been a lot of the, like, being a girl is someone going, "Oh, you're crazy," and then there's nothing you can say after that. Like, when someone calls you crazy, anything you say is going to be under, like, the lens of being crazy, so you can't even defend yourself because 'cause you'll come off crazy. It's like as soon as that's dropped in an argument, it's like, God, like, it's over. Same with conspiracy theorists. If someone's like, "You're a conspiracy theorist," you're like, "No, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's just that if you had read the thing," there's nothing you can say after that, so it's such a way to, like, shut somebody down. It is the most, um ignorant way to, like, shut somebody down and just be like, "You're stupid, you're," and there's also a spectrum of conspiracy theorists too, look at me talking about a spectrum. Oh my god. Anyway, so what I thought I would do for this episode, because I'm not in my house, where I normally record my podcast, I am going to read a bunch of the jokes that I decided to cut just for time, when I'm writing a roast, in which, by the way, a lot of people are like, "Oh, Whitney's, like, doing a roast." Like, I quit doing roast for a while, and for people that were like, "Where's Whitney been?" Whatever, I did take some time off. I've been touring, I've been doing specials, shooting my 7th special next year. I took a minute off of the roasts. I used to do them on Comedy Central a lot, and honestly, I'll just say it, the only way I know how to say it is I just felt like they started getting really sloppy when I was doing them, and they were kinda just, like, racist. It was just like, girls are whores, black people are late. Like, it was just kinda like the black people steal. Like, it just was, like, racist in a way that I was like, this is stopping being, like, clever." And maybe because they were just trying to do too many, I don't know. But I did 3. I did, Joan Rivers, Donald Trump, like, David Hasselhoff. Like, I still do, like, roasts here and there, the Comedy Store, like, roast battle and stuff, but I just, like, took a little bit of a break. And then I did roasts on OFTV, for free. We did me and Bert Kreischer, like, a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, almost, because I just wanted to, like, experiment with, like, can we roast, like, with our hearts in the right place? Like, can we just, like, do this in a way that's not gonna go to lowest, we're gonna play to the top of everybody's intelligence and, like, also put people together that love each other and, like, only comics. Because Rose started having people that aren't comics. That never goes well. Like, it never goes well. It's just like throwing someone into a, I'm not trying to, like, say we're such, like, heroes or whatever, but actors, like, we have a very specific set of skills. And, I don't recommend you having the childhood trauma required to be good at roasting, but it does take years and years to have a plan B, C, and D to be able to, like, handle what's thrown at you, to be able to handle the references you were gonna get hit, be getting used before you go on, so you have to reorder everything or you have to, like, rewrite everything on the fly. Like, it's just like a kind of a hard one, dubious honor of a skill, and sometimes they'll throw, like, I mean, Pam Anderson, I've apologized for jokes twice in my career. Once was, after the roast of Donald Trump. This is like 10 years. I'm sorry, the roast of David Hasselhoff. I did say to Pam Anderson, "Pam, you slept with Tommy Lee, Kid Rock, and Bret Michaels. Why don't you just save yourself some time and drink a vat of Magic Johnson's blood?"
I'm going to do my public apology here to Pam Anderson, which is, it's kept me up at night for the past, 10 years. I take Lunesta, I'm fine. About sitting there and hammering Pam Anderson over and over again.
Now, there was also like there was like a couple more jokes about her vagina, but she had already had her own roast. So I'm like, she's used to this, she's down, she's game, she's making $500 million. I'm making like $5,000. I'm like, I have to like I'm about to get called a dumb whore. I'm about to she looks like Marilyn Manson's corpse. Her throat's full of like I'm about to get like I just and another thing that happens on roast is people cancel. They start getting scared. So you've got like all these people. I remember Mike Tyson was supposed to do it. I've got 3 pages on Mike Tyson. Willie Nelson was supposed to do. So that like by the time you get there, you've written all these jokes for a bunch of people that aren't going to be there. And then I'm left with like 3 pages of Pam Anderson jokes. And then like not as many for everybody else. But I'm like, oh, she's game. Like she's done one of these before. And so I did apologize to her publicly, like, I don't know, like 10 years later. Because I did feel bad. Whatever, maybe I shouldn't have. And the other one was the time I made fun of West Virginia because my dad's side of the family is from West Virginia. I went on the James Corden show. I made jokes about being from West Virginia and it got dicey. I went to West Virginia and apologized to them. I was like individually I needed to be educated. One more thing I was going to say, because people that are like, Whitney got red pilled or Whitney, sometimes it just takes one incident that's like, I guess, the straw that breaks the camel's back. And mine was during the election, I was making fun of both sides, as comedians always should do. And I posted something about Tim Walz. Is it Waltz? Walz. Walz. Do you remember when it came out that he went to China?
The protest thing?
For the protest thing? 30 times?
Is that what it said?
No, Google it. Please check my, it was, no, but let's get it right. It was more than 30 times that Tim Walz went to China. It's weird to go to anywhere more than 30 times. That has secret family written all over it. Okay. But if you're just into the culture of China, great. 30? 30. 30? If he went to Cancun 30 times, I would have to talk about it. If he went to Luxembourg 30 times, I'd have to talk about it. On a teacher's salary, how do you even afford to go to China that many times? I have questions. People are so afraid of coming off racist, they won't even ask a question that is like right in front of them. What are you on alexjones.net, 4chan.org? What I need to know your website you're looking at, Anthony.
Oh, fuck, this is 30 times.
30 times. Okay, so at least let's say it's 20. Let's say it's 20. If you're going anywhere 20 times, that's your job. That's your full-time job. Like booking a flight to China on a teacher's salary, you must just love China, which is fine. My thing, I can separate the Chinese people and the Chinese government. Anytime I'm criticizing China, it's the government, which if you're defending the Chinese government at this point, I can't help you. I can't with you. But so no one thinks that's wild. And then I'm like, okay, I found out he's fired from his teaching job. No one can tell me why. I believe if this is going to be the truly standing by the side of the possible leader of the free world and would be the next in line if something happened to her, right? I'd like to know why he got fired from a high school when he was taking teenage kids to China. I have questions, okay? And I posted something about it, a clip from the podcast where I was making fun of Tim Walz. Pat, put it in. Drop it in.
Oh, Tim Walz. The great Waltz of China. It seems weird. I don't know what's going on with the Democratic Party that you didn't give your VP pick a goog. Maybe ask Jeeves about where your VP pick traveled 60 times. 10 times is weird. I went to China once. I was like, I got it.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, oh no, we just didn't notice that Tim Walz lived in Wuhan with a bunch of kids. Like, what are we doing? Waltz has a very deep connection with China, I heard, because his parents are actually dumplings. He's like, I like taking in history and culture. His favorite part of the Chinese culture is suck zidong. The only thing weirder than hooking up with kids is hanging out with them.
That's true.
I'm confused. His best friend was a young boy at the time? Or did a young boy put Tim in the friend zone? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Tim is hanging out with these 14-year-old boys because they are the only ones who would take part in his favorite hobby, walking down the railroad tracks looking for a dead body. Here's the real question. On those 60 flights to China, did you recline your seat, Tim?
Shade up, shade down.
Shady.
Shady.
Shady, every which way you cut it. But why China? Why not Vietnam? Why not India? Why China? We will record this until we get to the...
sit here.
We will... I will turn this podcast around.
And I posted on Instagram, when something gets 400,000 views in the first 10 minutes, it's never good. It's never like, yeah, I got in the algo. You're like, oh no, what happened? And I was getting, unalived in the comment section. People like, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're spreading. I'm like, no, this is wild. At least come out and go, hey guys, I'm Tim Walz. I've been to China 30 times, which is a strength. Great news. I speak the language. Great news. I will know who to pick to be ambassador. Great news. I know what they're doing in terms of spying on the whatever laptops. You're not supposed to bring your laptop into a hotel in China, is what I was advised. I don't even know what to say about what he should know, but it's like, I know how to bring some manufacturing back to America and how to put tariffs on certain Chinese items. Some more stuff's made in America, so you guys don't lose all your jobs, even though robots are coming. Well, just address it and tell me why that's an asset. because it probably is if you just let me ask. You know what I mean? But I can't even ask. And then I took it down. And I'm not someone that wants controversy. I don't want to like be in the comments fighting with people and being like, yeah, I'm gonna like clickbait, I know that YouTube, I know this is why I will never really be very successful in podcasting and YouTube, because I don't want controversy. Like, I don't like it. I don't like not knowing if people are mad at me or if I'm wrong. And I was like, I guess I'm wrong. And then I talked to a bunch of people and they're like, oh yeah, that's so weird. And everyone's like, so weird. I've been to China. Why don't you address it? And I was like, hold on, dude. The only thing worse than censorship is self-censorship. I was like, for comics to complain about censorship, myself included, and then to self-censor was like, whoa, dude, I'm such a hypocrite. This is wild. So I just was like, I can't do this anymore, because people are going to go out of their way to intentionally misunderstand and intentionally be offended. And those people just like aren't my people, which is fine. If you used to be my people when I did like network sitcoms, thank you. I love you. I'm sorry I let you down. But like, I don't want to mature as a person and pretend to be less mature or less brave than I am as a person, you know? And self-censoring just is like, I don't know, feels like just gives you cancer. I don't know. Also, how boring. You know what I mean? Also, tell me I'm wrong. I'm a female comedian. No one gets more hate on the internet than female comedians. I can handle it. Just say, you're wrong, here's the truth. Instead of, you're an idiot, you're a conspiracy theorist. Like, just correct me. Can you drop the link? I kept saying, like, drop the link. Can I get the right information? Where's the right information? I've got to stop rambling about this. Let's get to the jokes. Okay, y'all, are you curious about GLP-1 medications, unsure if they're right for you? Ro Body is here to make the process easier and affordable. GLP-1 medications, sometimes referred to as weight loss shots, are backed by science and designed to support weight management when paired with a healthy lifestyle. Ro Body offers compounded GLP-1 medications that are made in certified U.S. pharmacies and can be shipped directly to your door. With membership starting at just $99 for your first month, Ro provides on-demand access to healthcare professionals who guide you every step of the way. You can handle this entire process online, avoiding the hassle of waiting rooms and commutes. No insurance headaches, just straightforward science-backed support tailored to your goals. Join over 250,000 people who have chosen Ro to access GLP-1 medications and start your journey toward better health. Visit ro.com/Whitney to see if you qualify. Membership start at $99 for your first month, and medication costs are separate. For boxed warning and safety information, visit ro.com/safety. Prescription only. Alpha progression. If you ever try to improve your fitness, you know how overwhelming it can be to find the right plan and track your progress, stay motivated, That's where Alpha Progression comes in. Alpha Progression is an app that takes the guesswork out of fitness with science-backed workout plans tailored specifically to your goals. Whether you're aiming to build muscle, lose fat, or simply maintain a healthy routine, Alpha Progression uses data and smart algorithms to create personalized programs for you. I need this. It tracks every rep, set, and weight so that you can see your progress over time, keeping you motivated and on track. The app also includes an extensive exercise library with video demonstrations, so you'll always know how to perform each movement correctly. And with its detailed insights and metrics, you'll understand how every workout is helping you reach your goals. Try Alpha Progression now and get 20% off your first payment using the code Whitney. Download Alpha Progression from the App Store or Google Play and use promo code Whitney. You guys, I said it once, I'll say it again. Accidents happen when you least expect them, but if you're ever injured due to someone else's negligence, due to some dud, due to some hobo, some bum, you deserve compensation. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm with more than 100 offices and over 1,000 lawyers fighting for people just like you. They've recovered over $20 billion for their clients and specialize in handling personal injury cases from car accidents to workplace injuries. Filing a claim is simple. There are no upfront costs, and Morgan & Morgan doesn't get paid unless they win your case. When you're injured, the last thing you want to worry about is navigating legal jargon, mumbo jumbo. Morgan & Morgan take care of everything so you can focus on recovering. It's easy, effective, and ensures you can get the compensation you deserve. Visit forthepeople.com/Whitney or dial #law #529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/Whitney or #law #529. This is a paid advertisement. So French. All right. I was going to start with New Year's Eve in Times Square. You guys have to stop talking about balls dropping, or else the producers on Nickelodeon shows are going to tune out, and we need all the viewers that we can get on CNN. Shania Twain is on the broadcast tonight. Reminds me of this year's Paris Olympics theme. Man, I feel like a woman. This year, people had to go to extreme measures to deal with a tough economy. Mobs of people raided and robbed department stores, and groceries got so expensive, I had to thaw my frozen eggs to make an omelet. It was a pretty insane year. A year where 2 people got stuck in space, and I'm not talking about the Trump-Biden debate. In 2024, we had such a brat summer. Even Trump got his ear pierced. In 2024, the media continued to ignore the Maui wildfires. Maui's been mentioned so little, I had to ask myself, could a fire be on an Epstein client list? Ellen moved to England because Trump won. She calls her employees the C word so much that she moved to a place where it's a term of endearment. Smart gal. Comedy's stopped being funny in 2024 out of nowhere. Things got so bad entertainment-wise. We started watching the WNBA. I guess if we're forced to watch our politicians dribble, we might as well watch female athletes do it too. I could never really figure that joke out. Our bright spot, we were so mentally ill in 2024. Our bright spot was seeing a baby pygmy hippo being abused at a zoo. Dude, justice for Mudang, the Shirley Temple of the animal world. Don't get me started on Shirley Temple. Don't get me started. People got in fistfights over Stanley Cups in 2024. People got in fights on planes, except the Boeing whistleblower who lost a fight about planes. White supremacy groups reached record highs. It got so bad, Ariana Grande became white again. I did do that joke, but then very few people will get this. No, actually, at the end of the year, one white supremacy group took a huge hit when they lost Grace O'Malley. The youngins will get that. This was the year the human species officially evolved past having a capacity for embarrassment. Girls started wearing stickers on their faces over zits, like blue stars, purple stars. Like when I was a teenager, you had to let the cyst ooze out on your face. Now you get to put a little yellow star over your zit, okay? Just saying, a yellow star being worn to identify something, that was Hitler's idea, guys. I didn't bring up Hitler on New Year's Eve. I feel like that was a good judgment call. This was the year we realized AI is going to make us unemployed. You know, I thought the Jetsons would be the future, and you watch it back, and it's like the opening, George is headed to work. The Jetsons were wrong about the future, the way every episode starts. It is weird to be in the Hollywood business right now. I heard that next year's Oscars, they're going to have to thank God and the CIA. I feel like this is the last year we're even going to have jobs in Hollywood. Maybe, I don't even think it's because of AI. I think it's just because I'm in an industry where most people will be arrested by 2026. This is the year people just broke. I feel like this was the year that we all like had to just say it. You know, we all had to get something off our chest. And I'm not just talking about Elliot Page. People moved to podcasts to assess presidential candidates. A podcast called Bussin' with the Boys was thanked for helping Trump get elected. If you don't know what it is, it's 2 athletes. They blather on about nothing. In a bus, they play fart noises for 2 hours. Rosa Parks dealt with less annoying white guys on her bus. But they did do a better job than establishment media. The establishment media is so biased. They made sure the MSG rally with Tony Hinchcliffe seemed like the most disastrous Trump rally. And there was one where Trump got shot in the head. Like, I mean, maybe it did end up being the worst one because we had to hear P. Diddy's ex-girlfriend give a speech about it. But the other one, 2 people died. Can we not? It was a lot. I have notes for Trump too, mainly that why was Kid Rock? Why is he in your group hanging out at the MMA fights? Like, Trump doesn't like Mexicans, but he hangs out with someone that looks like they put sunglasses on the Taco Bell dog. Can we not with Kid Rock, please? I'm pretty sure Kid Rock was the original name of Epstein Island. Let's just not. Oh, gosh. I was also going to try to roast every major city in America, but there was just kind of no time. So here's the ones that I had written out. Washington, D.C., where I spent a lot of time as a kid. I can go after D.C. D.C., the tourism is so boring. Everything has a lawn. It has so many lawns because the politicians are basically free-range criminals. How does this work? I mean, I love the idealism. Like, moving to D.C. at this point because you believe in American politics is like moving to the North Pole because you, like, want to help Santa with his toys. Like, it's just, D.C. is so dorky, dude. Like, the Washington Monument, obviously shaped like a dick, even though the Capitol building is the one that's f***ing us. Each politician obsessed with our forefathers has a fear of a child being raised by forefathers. Let's be honest. It's a city full of politicians, and they're such losers too. DC is full of so many losers. I'm surprised they haven't passed a bill requiring everyone to come to my birthday party. I don't know. DC, look, I've always thought the DC sports, like, weird names. The Commanders, the Nationals, the Washington Wizards, are these sports teams or sectors of the Klan? Like, can we get some better names? And what's going to come for the West Coast, too? I mean, how can you not make fun of California right now? California, where the cars get charged, but Diddy doesn't. San Francisco is a mess. Who needs a key to the city when breaking and entering is legal? San Francisco, where the bars close early, but if you want to get hammered late, go to Paul Pelosi's. San Francisco is famous for San Francisco sourdough, which is an accurate depiction of Nancy Pelosi's tits at this point. San Francisco. The problem with a progressive and violent city is you never know if a guy just got stabbed or if he's just having his period. I think that's why they struggle with crime there. I don't know. Las Vegas. I do love Vegas. I am going to be performing there in May, but I can also make fun of it. I'm not saying that going to Vegas to get married by Elvis is childish, but Elvis did marry a child. Priscilla was 14. I'm sorry. David Copperfield, what a loser. I don't even have a joke for that. You're a loser. Sorry. Cirque du Soleil, I do love. Cirque du Soleil's business model is crazy. They're like, circuses, let's replace like lions and tigers with moose knuckles and camel toes. Like, it's hats off, smart. Austin, Texas, where I am now. I mean, look, I love Austin, but it's a city where like emotional vampires brag about having bats. Like, the irony. And I think that you guys in your bats is actually mostly because all the guys here play wiffle ball, you dorks. When did Austin get so many dorks? The city is now covered in like scooters and bikes because so many of you have DUIs. Like, you have people using handlebars because they literally couldn't handle bars. You're homeless. You're homeless people. You guys call them forts. You're like, they're in forts. What? They're crack dens. They're not forts. Stop pretending it's a Little Rascals meeting. These are zombies that will eat your dog's face off I don't know. I do like Austin locals though. Austin has more LA transplants than that surgeon who killed Kanye's mom. Sorry. There was some stuff I couldn't corroborate enough. I talked to a couple of my friends that are like journalists who like also follow like independent journalists who know. And I was like, is this check out? Does this check out? People did think though that when I said the Trump shooter didn't have any silverware in his house, I said it pretty fast and people thought I said Chuck Schumer. So Chuck Schumer not having silverware in his house, that is definitely a conspiracy theory, but that's not what I said. I feel like Chuck Schumer has a lot of silverware. I feel like it's monogrammed. I feel like it's, it's a family heirloom. I feel like there's a lot of silverware. And then I said, how come so many chefs of presidents are dead or something? Did you know that reference or not?
The Obama chef.
The Obama chef, but also one of the Clinton chefs died.
Oh, really?
On a hike.
Oh, nice.
You know how people just fall over on a hike and die? Two? That's just one of those things where you're just like, maybe it's. Did you ever watch The Staircase? The documentary The Staircase? Okay, so the documentary The Staircase is a big part of what has formed me as a human. It's a documentary about a guy who may or may not have pushed not one but two wives down a flight of stairs. Okay, I'm gonna try not to laugh at that. It's a documentary where in the beginning you're like, that guy's guilty. That guy is so guilty because he's really arrogant. It ultimately becomes like a Rorschach test of like what you would have done, because like what people think happened is a total reflection of who they are. Like, that's how hard it is to figure out what's what. And so I think it was the owl. You know me. I think it was the owl theory all the way. So you find out at the end of the first episode though that he's gay. And then you're like, he was married to a woman, and you're like, he definitely did it. And that's what I did. And I was like, I totally just realized my bias. Like, just because he's gay, he pushed his wife down this. Like, I just think gay men just push women down the stairs. Like, because they're known for their brute. They're no why did my brain go there? That was so ignorant. You know what I mean? And so I was like, oh, no. Oh, because he lies. He lied about being gay. It wasn't about the being gay part. It wasn't about the penises and the butts. It was about, oh, got it. Like, and then I had to question the way that I make assumptions, And then I kept watching it. I was like, no. I think this guy is arrogant. I think he's a narcissist. I think he was a husband. I think he's a liar, but I just don't think he's a murderer. And he seems really smart. I think if he was going to kill his wife, he would do it in a way cleaner, more sophisticated. I just don't think this is, I'm sure he would kill his wife. I just don't think this is how he did it. I think, and maybe I'm projecting because I grew up around a drunk mom who fell a lot. I'm like, I think she was drunk. They never had a toxicology report. And I think the owl came in and attacked. There were owl feathers in her hair and there were talon marks on her head. Wild, but they wouldn't admit that evidence because you have to admit evidence in a certain amount of time. And there's a bag of owl feathers. And dude, Google owl bombing. Owls bombing humans in South Carolina, dude. They are birds of prey. They come down and they just straight up try to eat your head, dude. It's wild. We have like jaguars with wings in the sky, dude. And so I think that's what happened. The second woman that fell down the stairs, then you find out another woman he was with fell down this. Sorry, it's just like, it is slapstick. I mean, it is literally slipping on a banana peel. And so, and you know, comedians were emotionally dyslexic. We have to laugh at horrible things. My dad's funeral, I was literally dying laughing. So I can't explain the second one, but when you go, oh, dude, here's the thing. Let's say he did push the first one down the stairs. Then he's definitely not going to push the second one down the stairs. The second one's going to be a poisoning. It's going to be he goes for a hike. You know, it's going to be he goes paddleboarding in Nantucket. Whatever. Just because someone kills people doesn't mean they're dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like smart people so I just am interested in the assumptions that we jump to when we're trying. You just want him to have done it. Like, which is fine. If you just want that to be that. But like to me, okay, whether you push her down the stairs the first time or not, there's a dead woman in your house and you were married to her. I feel like after that, anytime a woman's near a staircase, you're like, hey, could you just hold the banister? Hey, could you just crab walk down backwards, please? And I actually believe this to be even more true because not just my assumption, Amanda Knox is a friend of mine. And during the pandemic, you know, she went to jail for a murder she did not commit in Italy. And everyone thought she did it just because she was hot and they wanted to see her on magazines more, basically. And she's a star, I'll tell you. And she came and stayed with me because it was like during the pandemic and it was like you couldn't get hotels in LA. And she came to my podcast in LA. And we were staying in this a rental that had this weird like step down. And I'm a like klutz. And I was smoking a lot of weed at the time. It's before I got sober. Weed became legal in LA and comedians couldn't tour. The pandemic was hard on workaholics. I also had blue hair. It was just a whole shit show. And so I'm with Amanda Knox and I'm walking down this like little step and I tripped and fell. And she just went, oh God, please don't die around me. And it was like so real. And it was so instant that when you've already been accused of a crime, I'm not saying she committed a crime, you're going to be like you're going to make sure nobody dies near you for like the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird because it's like the same thing that's happening with Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively is that when people act like this, the reason you believe them and the reason we go like, oh, Blake Lively must be telling the truth is the odds of him doing it seem higher than the odds of her completely destroying herself and her family forever. And like hurting every woman that is telling the truth. You're just kind of like, oh, no. Like no one would act. It was like Amber Heard. You're like, well, she must be right because you're going to spend like years of your life embarrassing yourself. But he's got kids. He's got a daughter. You're not going to say you have to grape, I think, that he grape. Like he's got a daughter. Like you wouldn't do that to someone's relationship with their daughter. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, wait. I'm not weighing in on the Amber Heard thing at the moment. I could do that all day long. But the thing I did a couple episodes about it when it happened. And because you know how obsessed with that I was. My dog was stung by a bee.
My dog stepped on a bee.
Oh, if a white woman's dog gets stung by a bee, everybody has got to just stop. If my dog was stung by a bee, you're going to jail. Everyone is on notice. My dog, my inbred terrier, was stung by a bee. You know how hard it is to get stung by a bee, by the way? The dog was trying to off itself. Like the dog, you don't get, it is so hard to get stung by a bee. You have to it's like a rattlesnake. So I was like, I got bit by a rattlesnake. I'm like, how hard did you try to get bit by that rattlesnake? Like they don't want to bite. Bees die when they sting you. They don't want to sting you. It's your fault. I'm victim blaming. Yes, I am. Yes, I actually am. So it's like the odds, and I've seen this in other places too, the odds of her, by the way, also because you're like, no, she filed this 2 days before Christmas. That's the thing that no one's talking about the like lobby thing. It's Christmas. You can't wait till January 1st to do this. So, because it was an 80-page document. So you spent all your Thanksgiving working on this, and then you timed it to happen on Christmas. Well, okay. If Blake Lively's a liar, if she's a bully, fine. But you don't have Christmas cheer? You made all of our Christmas be about you. Okay? It should have been about Santa. It should have been about presents. It should have been about nog. It should have been about rewrapping gifts as quickly as you can to regift them. It should have been about fighting with our families, not watching mommy and daddy fight, a bunch of millionaires fight over breastfeeding in a trailer. Also, who breastfeeds? What's time for that? I tried. I got like 3 months. The point is, it's like, you know the concept of the big lie? The big lie, where you tell a lie that's so big that people believe it because you must be telling the truth because you would never get away with it. So like, you know what I mean? It's that. It's like her going like, oh, well, this must be true because why would someone accuse someone of sexual harassment 2 days before Christmas if it wasn't really important? You know, she must be right. Because otherwise, I have to entertain the fact that this person is like dangerously crazy and a level of like narcissistic that I personally can't. I don't want to know exists in the world. I'm just going to go denial. I would like the easy solution. He's a douche. She's a victim. I'd like to enjoy my Christmas, please. I can't take on that there's like new levels of sociopath that I've not experienced. Like I can't take on the existence of more sociopaths at the moment. You know, I think that's part of what we do. It's like when someone does something so outrageous, you're like, well, her dog must have died from the bee sting, right? Wait, no? Wait, the dog, whoa. Wait, the dog survived? And we're in Virginia at a court case? Or like, I mean, that was what Amber Heard when she said, like, I got out of an abusive marriage. And she's like, well, I didn't name him. And you're like, but you said you're married. You've only been married one time. Hold on. This is what I get annoyed. Okay, I just figured it out. The whole New Year's Eve thing, all the, you can make a fool of yourself. You can lie. You can do, that's not illegal. I think there's like a naivete that I'm glad that I have. You know, I'm happy for a lot of the people that are like, yeah, Blake Lively must be telling the truth. Like, I hope so. I don't know. I obviously don't know yet. When this comes out, maybe there'll be more stuff. But your default being like, no one's that crazy. I mean, I grew up around that kind of crazy, so I have a lot of proof that it exists, but I guess my brain has a hard time believing it's like so much of it exists. And all right, well, this is what it is. I'm going to go write some jokes because I'm touring this year. 2025, new dates on WhitneyCummings.com. I love you guys. Don't ride elephants. Goodbye.